Hello and welcome to another episode of Meet the Experts, featuring our specialists from our lymphedemaunited.com website. Exciting news, we have just launched our new section on the Meet the Experts page entitled Health, Lifestyle and Wellbeing. And we're very grateful to all of our experts who contribute to this page and help us to live better with lymphedema. In this episode, I introduce you to the wonderful Amanda Sobey from Canada. Amanda, as I'm sure some of you already know, is a certified personal trainer, a certified nutritionalist, and Lymphie coach. And she specializes in helping others with lymphedema, lipedema, and other illnesses with the purpose of helping them overcome their health struggles. So welcome, Amanda. It's an absolute pleasure to talk with you at long last.
Thank you. Thank you. I am very happy to be here and thank you for all that you do for the community. So thank you.
My pleasure. Listen, we first met virtually in 2021 after I saw your frequent posts on social media, usually with the backdrop that you have behind you with all of these fantastic weight machines and super fitness. And it was very inspiring. So that prompted me to get in contact with you. And since then, I've been very keen to experience your fitness and nutrition courses to help me have a more balanced, healthier lifestyle. And I'm pleased to say I will be signing up with you very, very soon, this year, most definitely, as soon as I get my hip sorted, which we've just been talking about. So, yes, I'm looking forward to reporting back on the journey with Amanda later on this year. So, Amanda, where did your inspiration come from to set up your business?
Well, it was never really as easy as I guess what you might see on camera. I have lymphedema in my right leg. I was diagnosed in 2001. I guess that was back in when we had dial up for internet, if anybody remembers that. And there was very limited information about lymphedema. The journey to deal with this condition with no information, no resources, no support from the government for your medical supplies. You never met anybody with this condition, and internet, like I said, was dial up, so lots of things really didn't. It wasn't easy to communicate. Your doctors just would look at you and say, "Oh, it's just a little bit of swelling. Here's your prescription for compression and, get manual lymphatic drainage." And that was supposed to be your life. And it flipped my world upside down completely. And it was a very, very long, dark, cold, alone journey. And in 2016, I was very, very sick. I was actually bedridden and I actually couldn't walk. I couldn't even walk to the toilet, to be honest. I had to pull myself and drag myself there, if you can believe it. And I remember lying in bed, and I am a full-time single parent of two beautiful boys. So I remember lying in bed thinking, if I can't even take care of myself, like how am I supposed to even take care of these children? And I remember contemplating of like, what do I do? Do I continue this journey? Do I give up? Where like just I need somebody please answer my prayers. And one day I and even though in 2001, sorry, I'm kind of flipping all over the place. Even though in 2001 I couldn't get information, I devoted, my life's intention towards learning and researching and trying to figure the puzzle pieces to our illness. So in 2016, I was laying in bed and I was giving myself a good old pep talk, being like, surely you must know something. Like, surely there must be at least one fact that you know to be true. Start there. Just don't worry about the big picture. Just start with the one thing. And oddly enough, it was to drink water. As simple as it was, I
Really?
knew that was it. Then and so I started to drink water, and then because obviously you'd urinate quite frequently, the ability to get my legs underneath of me had to happen rather quickly, and so the walking piece ended up clicking into that puzzle. Um, Long story short, I slowly put bits and pieces of my intelligence together, and I started to work on using myself as a guinea pig to fact find what works, what doesn't work. We hear all the time that fitness is supposed to be good for lymphedema, but why does it not work all the time? Because previous to my setback, I would go to the gym all the time and watch my legs blow up.
Yes, yes.
yeah, so I was like, well, we're hearing that exercise is good, but why am I getting such a negative response to it? So it took a lot of trial and error and a lot of patience and dedication and consistency. And part of the way how my brain works is I'm very analytical, I'm very scientific, I'm very good with puzzles of like taking a puzzle piece and like flipping it around, trying to click it in. And every time I would try to learn about this process, I would learn what didn't work and what did work. So, but it was about a year and a half of solid, consistent effort with fitness and nutrition and all of the things lymphedema. And you ended up seeing me up on stage in 2017, winning my very first bodybuilding competition. Not a single person mentioned my legs. I didn't wear my garments. Nobody could even tell that there was a difference between my legs. And that was a huge accomplishment. Physically, I was in the best shape of my life. Mentally, I was probably what I would consider a basket case
Okay.
because the journey to get there was so stressful and so daunting. And then that realization of like, so now you're telling me I have to live this bodybuilding lifestyle, get in the gym every day, eat healthy every day, do my steps every day, and I have to do this every single day to take care of my leg. I was depressed. I was very angry. I was very upset. To shorten up my long answer, I took my theories and my methods and I started to share them with other people. And I started to try to use what I know and try to see if I could replicate the results, which I'm very happy to say that I have and I did.
Mhm.
So through this process, I've really recognized that there is actually a silver lining in taking care of yourself. It is a joy to get up and to be able to take care of yourself. It doesn't have to be super aggressive to, slinging weights 6 hours a day. I do what I do because I love to do what I do, but I love to encourage people to find a system and a program and a fitness routine that works for them. Hence, that's my passion. My biggest thing that I love to educate people on is how to safely move. Maybe weights is not your thing. That's fine. We can find other methods that can still be effective, that make you happy, that make you want to come up into the gym day in and day out and make it a happy place for you. Often not health seems to be a punishment, or the fitness journey or the health journey or the nutrition journey. A lot of people associate you know restrictive diets or insane training methods to their journey, which are completely unrealistic. So, what I love to pay it forward is to train people, have fun, get them the results. And that's kind of how I got to where I'm at today.
Wow. I mean, there's so much to take from that. Um, what stood out for me instantly is such a quick turnaround from being bedridden in 2016 to winning or being on stage, in 2017, winning your tournament. I mean, that takes some sheer motivation and dedication if you couldn't even, get on your feet. But the other thing there was the importance of water and hydration. Now, I have in front of me, which I took a quick slurp, water with like a zinc effervescent tablet, which I have one a day. But I'm not a water kind of guy. I like a squash, a weak squash. Am I doing myself any harm by having these squashes rather than pure water?
So, squash, I don't understand the terminology
Oh,
here in
okay. So
Canada. Are we
cordial,
talking like
cordial.
supplements in? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
like
Like a flavor of some
yeah,
sorts.
flavoring to make it more
Um,
interesting.
So it depends on what flavoring that you're using. Ultimately, my biggest thing is water is water is water. If you don't like the flavor of water, you can infuse it with herbs, with fruits and citrus and other things. I'm very much of a naturalist. I
Right.
don't like to always squeeze things out of bottles. Again, if you're putting in an effervescence, for your morning charge, because I know there's lots of green juices out there or greens powders, that's fine to have it, at once out of the day. But traditionally, my biggest thing is just simple, plain H2O, not carbonated. Coffee is not water, tea is not water, juice is not water, pop is not water. Water is water, but
So maybe a slice of apple or lemon or orange floating in the top of the pint of water, just to take the boredom away of water for me. Okay, lesson learned. I've written that down. No more squashes. Amanda told me. And the other thing that stood out loud and clear, and I do agree with this, and I'm sure many have experienced it, the in, the incentive is when you want to get fit and you need to get your limbs back in shape is you hit the gym. I'm guilty of hitting it hard, and guess what? Same thing as you. My limb practically exploded in size, and I was told that the as the muscle builds underneath, the lymphatic fat and fluid sits on top of it. So you're just increasing rather than burning. You can't burn, I've been told, lymphatic fat. So it just sits on the top of your muscle. So what you've got obviously is a winning formula to look at the individual and assess what they need and apply an exercise regime that's suitable for them. Is that right? Have I hit the nail on the head there?
Yes, well, yes and no. So any type of fitness, sorry, I do agree with the fact that if you're going from a fairly sedentary lifestyle and then you commit to being in the gym 7 days a week, I think that's way too extreme. I think you need to start with just building up consistency. If you aren't including any sort of fitness, maybe start by going for walks 5 minutes at a time, seeing if you can duplicate and replicate that intention every single day. Start with very small intervals and then start to condition the body so that when we need to put it to work, it is most likely able to and ready to take on that workload. It's almost analogous of going into a restaurant and 100 people go in and order 100 burgers all at the same time. The kitchen staff is not going to be able to keep up with that much of influx of food. But if you slowly work up to it, where one person comes and orders a burger, you're
Yeah.
good. 5 people come, it's that slow and steady wins the race approach. But I also want to emphasize is that when you do work with your body, you're also increasing body fluids. So I truly believe it's not necessarily the muscle building, that's not the muscle that's actually getting bigger per se. It's actually the fluid that's driving into the muscles because blood is what fills that up. So of course, increase in fluid increases in swelling. So how do you end up working with that?
Right. So much to learn from you. I'm really looking forward to this year. And to touch on that point, we both know in the lymphedema community there are people of so many different abilities. You said in 2016 you were bedridden. I've been through that journey myself, where walking was horrendous. Um, for those who perhaps are more limited, have more physical limitations, do you have courses, or can you tailor your courses to individuals that are perhaps not as fit as you are at this stage?
I love to meet people where they're at. My gym looks very intimidating. My pictures might come across as very intense, especially if you're coming from, a bedridden point of view. I get it. I've been there. But where I specialize is meeting the client at where they are currently at. If you're in bed, we can still do exercises. If
Mm.
you are having joint or mobility issues, I will obviously cater all exercises to that. And I want to further address, because I hear this from all the time, everyone seems to have a personal trainer, and everyone thinks that by having a personal trainer, it's just this blanket approach. You're good to go. But it's the same thing about like having a hairdresser. Not all hairdressers cut good hair. So, not all personal trainers are familiar with your conditions or your illnesses. And I highly emphasize that if you want to see progress, and if you are having a personal trainer, and again, I think that's fabulous that you're putting forth the attention to your health, but you really want to make sure that they're dialed into your health and they're very knowledgeable because they're going to be a key component to getting you those results.
Mm. Yeah, very much so. And I'm naturally a lazy person, and I need that kick up the backside to get me in the gym, to get me out for a walk. And my my daughter, I write about this in the book actually. My daughter used to knock on the summer house door when I was writing the book, saying, "Come on, Dad, you've been in there for hours. Come and play netball. Come and go for a walk." And the chapter I was writing at the time was all about movement and exercise and how you shouldn't be sitting at your desk all day. But we all do it. We all get sucked into that sort of the period of stagnant, whether it's sitting behind a desk or behind the wheel of a car, or in our own homes. And it's important to get up and move frequently, but have that discipline. And I need that kick up the backside to give me that discipline. So look, obviously you're in Canada, I'm in the UK.
Sorry, can I just reverse? Can we edit just right there? Can I piggyback on something that you said too?
Absolutely.
Thanks. I also want to emphasize fitness is actually functional fitness. This is fitness of how to get you up and down the stairs, how to sit down and stand up, how to carry your groceries, how to push your vacuum. Where I start is with things that you're currently doing and showing people how you can actually incorporate fitness into your life. If you are carrying groceries and pushing the vacuum and mopping and sweeping the floors, let's turn that into an exercise so you start to get the benefit. A lot of people nowadays don't have the time to go to the gym or the time to fit this in. But if you are going up and down the stairs, which many people frequently do, even if you're sitting in the car, I have exercises for you that are super simple to do. I really want to have fitness be easy to slide into someone's life instead of being a thorn in your side or an inconvenience. So a lot of the things that I do train my clients are just very basic techniques so we can start to build their strength, and then as they get better, then we will obviously prepare to do some damage in the gym.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one of the campaigns that the British Lymphology Society ran in the UK, and I don't know whether it reached you, but certainly their message was everybody can. And even if you're waiting for the kettle to boil, there are heel raises or lunges or stretches that you can do whilst you're waiting 2 or 3 minutes, whatever it happens to be, for that kettle to boil. So it doesn't have to be as you said, the full-on weightlifting or 30 minutes on the runner. There are certain things that we can all do. So tell me, virtual, you mentioned about the old dial-up, and yes, I'm old enough to remember those days, but thankfully the internet is pretty good nowadays and we're able to work virtually. What courses do you provide virtually, either on a one-to-one basis or as a group, that will be useful for our members?
That's a good question. Thankfully, due to COVID, this has changed the way how we're able to connect with people. And I'm happy to say that I do all of my coaching, predominantly all of my coaching. I still have some private, personal, in person clients, but I do everything online. And this can be lymphedema education and knowledge, talking about compression, manual lymphatic drainage, all the things that patients should know about their lymphedema. We do online. Fitness, believe it or not, we can always do online. All I require from my clients is that they have a 4 foot by 4 foot space. And whatever weights or equipment that they have, I definitely work with what they have. I don't necessarily want people to go out and purchase a whole huge gym. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. So I've invested in my hobbies. But if you have, let's say you're traveling all the time for work, maybe getting some little miniature exercise bands so that you can travel and train at the same time, so that you can do them in your hotel room. Maybe that's what you're looking for. And I'm very happy to say that I have programs such as that. And then the same thing with nutrition.
These sorts of
There
things.
you go.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
are the things.
yeah. Those are
Yeah,
the things.
those are the things. And then same thing with nutrition. Everything I do is online. I have created books so that when we are talking about nutrition, for example, I have nutrition books, meal planning books, recipe books that are available for my clients so that they can learn and they can support their lifestyle. And we just have a really, really great time. You'd be amazed to see how much we can accomplish by sitting in front of the screen. And I just think it's really amazing that not only am I your coach and your teacher and your mentor, but I'm also a regular person with lymphedema. So I am very familiar with the struggles and the strife that this condition causes. And I think it just makes this process, a lot happier knowing that somebody there on the other end is going to be able to understand you.
Yeah, and I think that's really key, Amanda, is that you've walked the walk, and therefore you're very qualified to talk the talk with it. And going back to your work with people with whatever they've got, I have images of people with bags of sugar or tins of cat food or beans or something, that they're using those as hand weights, because we're going through, as I'm sure you are in the US and Canada, a bit of a cost of living crisis at the moment. Inflation is topping the highest for 40 years. And so there isn't necessarily the spare cash floating around at the moment in the UK that there was, as I'm sure other countries are experiencing. So you don't have to nip out and buy a load of equipment. You can use things household things that are in the home, like the vacuum cleaner, as you said. So that's quite exciting. So it opens it up to a whole new audience that hasn't
Well,
got.
and I think, yeah, like fitness seems really, really scary for a lot of people, because people, they may have not done anything physically active for however many years, especially with COVID. We were all stuck at home. That was a full on epidemic that was going across the entire world.
Yeah.
So we've lost a lot of that ability to do the things that used to come so naturally. So I really want to stress that I will be able to meet people with where they're at. I like to have a good time. I like to make this fun. It is work, but I like to make light work. And, whether you come join group training or whether you do individual training, it is entirely up to the individual. I like to start most of my clients with individual training for a lot of my newbies. I think that this journey is very isolating. I think everyone's condition presents different, and your injuries and your illnesses are maybe different from somebody else. And sometimes people just aren't comfortable in sharing that in a group type setting. So individual training, I like to obviously offer that for my clients, but then in order to get community, to meet other people that are like you, I do train Lymphie ladies, lippy ladies, lympholymphy ladies, and even men as well too. So it's a really amazing journey to have gone from, this condition where I was completely alone. Now I get to wake up and see beautiful people that are just like me every single day. So I'm truly blessed.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and we applaud everything you're doing. And your videos online, of which there are many, are totally inspiring. And I urge anyone who hasn't yet visited your website to do so. Have a look at the social media adverts and videos, and they are inspiring, so motivational. So let's try and push people in your direction to see them. Now, we talked about fitness, we talked about water, food. Is it true that there are some foods that are less good for people with lymphedema than others?
1000%. Food is not a one size fits all. So again, anything that I say in our interview today is going to be like a blanket approach, but I want people to really understand that food comes down to genetics. It comes down to your upbringing and your environment and the accessibility to certain foods. So a lot of people will typically look at diets or nutrition for losing weight or for, being good at that thing. For example, the ketogenic diet. There is a time and a place for certain diets, for certain illnesses, but I really don't think that people should just jump into a nutritional lifestyle without researching and understanding why you're making that choice in the first place. When you're doing nutrition, you want to first off educate yourself on what are the fundamentals of foods? What's the hardcore truths, no matter what diet that you lock into? What's an actual fact? Start with getting these good, solid facts so you can start making really good decisions on what lifestyle is good for you. Second of all, when it comes to lymphedema, it is a unique jigsaw puzzle, if you will, because yes, there are going to be certain ingredients that cause inflammation. Now, this looks and presents differently in everybody's body differently. What reacts with my body might be different from your body. So you probably want to work with a professional to understand all of the triggers and the warnings. And typically, if you do this properly under good guidance and education, you'll start to notice that food vastly affects your lymphedema, your energy, your mental health. So there's a lot of positives that can come out of dialing into a proper nutritional lifestyle, but it's just not a one size fits all. So I do warn people with caution to
Yeah.
just don't like buy into that quick losing weight technique, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that you mentioned your books, your nutrition books earlier, and I'm guessing this is part of one of the courses that you can help with is the nutrition and nutritional advice on an individual basis. Is that correct?
That is correct. And it's I know I sound like a nerd, but it's more of like a textbook style, a very easy reading textbook. Again, it comes from a science background of the absolute truths of what food is made out of. How does it affect your body? If you can start to look at food as science, which it technically is, you'll start to understand how it exhibits certain responses in your body.
Mhm.
So again, learning these fundamentals will help you navigate your way through a grocery store, because wherever you are in the world, you should understand the basic fundamentals, because what you have accessibility to over in the UK for food is going to look very different from what I have accessibility to. So you can't just, click into whatever recipe book that's out there, because all of our environments are different, our economies are different. So again, understanding what everything is made out of starts to help you navigate and build a lifestyle.
Right, fantastic. So that's fitness covered, that's nutrition covered. You've told us a little bit about the Lymphie coach element. Is there anything that I've missed that you'd like to touch on the Lymphie coach side of your service?
Oh, I could always talk their mess. Oh, please. Um, it's shocking that I've had clients that have had lymphedema for 30, 40, 50 years, and they've done their research. They feel that they've turned over every stone, and it's amazing that how much I'm still able to assist them in their lymphedema knowledge. And knowledge is power. I think the fact that I can equip people to know just as much as their doctors and their therapists gives such confidence in their health, knowing that they have a team of people around them, knowing that the people that they have around them are very qualified. Empowering my clients to have the right questions to ask, to know for certain that they have the best doctors and therapists at their disposal, makes a dramatic difference in the care of their health.
Yeah.
Same thing with compression. It's amazing as to, even though that I have veterans putting on compression, we'll do a conversation or we'll do a session on compression, and it's amazing the things that they learn just by being open-minded to having that conversation. So when it comes to being a Lymphie coach, a lot of people will join up for just the fitness and the nutrition, but I wouldn't say that like having that lymphedema knowledge is still an asset to make sure that you still are cutting edge, that you still are getting all the information that you know, because ultimately this condition is lifelong, and knowing as much as you need to know is never going to be a bad thing.
Yeah, and obviously the condition travels, doesn't it? The lymphedema in the US and Canada is the same in Europe and same in England and the UK, as it is in Australasia. Lymphedema is lymphedema, and I guess similar practices are global. And unless you tell me that I've missed something there, it seems the four cornerstones are the four cornerstones: the compression, the MLD or the SLD, healthy lifestyle. Uh,
Well, and it's frustrating from my perspective, because everyone will come and call me and will say, I've been researching for 20 years. So what's the difference of why that I'm able to achieve results and you're not? And supposedly we're doing the exact same thing. So I think it's a really interesting conversation to have. I think it's really interesting to have people come close and learn and to train. And it's amazing when they finally get that light bulb moment and we finally figure out what that missing link is. It's such a game changer. So I just think that, wherever you are at in your lymphedema journey, just know that you're not alone. Always try to keep an open mind, no matter how much research that you've obtained or no matter how much that you've learned. Always try to stay just willing and able to receive, because that might be that piece of the puzzle that you're really looking for.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, you've obviously got a series of courses available, and to help with various purse strings, as we call it in the UK, different budgets. You have created various payment plans, haven't you, for the courses that you provide? Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that for those of us who want to engage with you as soon as this video is finished?
Yes, I like to try to accommodate you as best as I can. I offer personal private training. I also offer group sessions, and this also changes depending on your needs and your wants and your goals. So, group training is obviously going to be a fitness based class. So, that's where that is always going to stay as a fitness group class. But then the individual training, you can decide if you want to do the full lymphedema journey that I offer, where it covers everything from A to Z that I feel that all lymphies should know. And it's a customized program that I will ensure to cater to your needs and your goals. So if you're coming and you say, well, I've learned everything about nutrition, I don't really want to learn about that, that's fine. But I still want to have a conversation to make sure that we're singing from the same hymn book. So the 16-week lymphedema journey course is a customizable program. I offer 16 private one-on-one training sessions that we can use at your disposal for what you think that you feel that you need the most. And again, all of my courses will come with the books. I have lymphedema books that I've written. I have my nutritional books that I've done and created for you all. And then there's obviously going to be the fitness component that is going to be delivered on an app that you can follow along when we don't have our one-on-one private training sessions. So everything is taken care of from start to finish, and it is completely guided, and you're just not going to be left alone. And however you want to have me as your trainer or as your coach, I'll be more than happy to be able to deliver those requests.
That's fantastic. And in addition to that, you've kindly offered the members of Lymphie United, or Lymphedema United as we call it over here, a special offer, a welcome pack, if you like, which will run from now, January, until the 31st of March 2023. So tell us a bit more about this lovely offer that you're providing us.
Well, I hope to see you all in group class because you will get a free complimentary training session to join group. So that is super exciting. Get to meet some other Lymphies and get to see what my fitness program is all about. Then there is also a free 15-minute consultation where you can pick my brain, you can ask me questions, dial a little bit more into maybe some of the information that you need. And then you also get a free Lymphie starter download package that is just a very great introductory package for you to kind of get you on the right track, making sure that, you're knowing all the things and, hopefully teaching some new things as well too, so that you can take care of your lymphedema.
That's fantastic. So not one, but 3 free offers for our members until the end of March. Thank you for that, Amanda. Well, if you're not a member of Lymphie United yet, sign up today. It's totally free. The website is www.lymphedemaunited.com. And that's lymphedema in the English spelling, which is the OE, not the ED. And have a look on the website. Once you've signed up, there's loads of benefits. There's discount codes, there's newsletters, there's special offers, free prize draws, and access to members only areas of the website. And this is where I'd like you to jump on the Meet the Experts page, scroll down, see Amanda's lovely face, click on her link and go straight through to her website where you can pick up where we've left off today and hopefully sign up for the taster course or the free consultation. Or the group session. I know I will be, and I look forward to working with Amanda later on this year. So social media queen, Lymphie Queen, I think was on your t-shirt when we first met. Are you wearing it today? There it is, the Lymphie Queen.
There it is.
How do we find you on social media, Amanda?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. My title, or I guess my tag, is am.sobey for Facebook and for Instagram. Or you can just type in my name, Amanda Sobey. There's also the Lymphie Queen account that you can find to try to connect with some other fellow Lymphies that I do train. And LinkedIn is kind of more so that professional forum, but I do have some of my accomplishments with regards to, being the president for the Lymphedema of Association of Manitoba, all the things that I try to volunteer for and take part in that way. I try to give back to the community as best as I can. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram are probably the 2 best methods for you. And I can't wait to see you guys in class.
Yeah, well, you're always busy. Thank you so much. Sounds like you've got so much going on at the moment. So I appreciate you sparing the time to talk with us at Lymphedema United. And we look forward to seeing you soon and working together in the future. So Amanda, once again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'll see you later this year, Matt, to get you started with your fitness.
Absolutely. All right. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.